you very much, buddy. All right, guys. Hello there, everyone. Hello, Amsterdam. Come on, guys, get closer. Come and see the show. So, I am so happy, so grateful to be coming back once again to pretty much Europe's best barber show, especially in Amsterdam, right? All right, yes. So, yes, I am the head of education for Captain Fawcett products. And so today, you're going to see me use the products, especially after the cut, and also during the cut as well. So I will give you a little bit more better information about how to use these products, especially inside your barbershops on your regular clients. So ideally, with my model here, his name is Jesse. Now, I had to do some pre-cutting before. So what I did was, I'm keeping everything quite simplistic. So what I did was, I worked a horseshoe section here of disconnection. Now, the purpose of disconnection is to either elongate, make areas appear longer, or to flatten. Now, in his case, his hair, it's like a wild beast, right? It just wants to expand. So, what I used was the disconnection on the top to help flatten it down. Now, the way I approached this, so first I worked with diagonal sections going this way with over direction forward, so it goes shorter in the front. Then I transformed into working vertical sections in the back. Now, I wanted to keep the perimeter long. So instead of working inside my fingers at the bottom, I actually just worked over my fingers to maintain length in the back. Then I used a hair cutting razor to reduce the bulk and also to use a slicing technique with my scissors. Now, on the top, what I'm going to be doing, I will be taking vertical sections going this way. So my first section, which is my profile, I'll be going down the central area, but I have a choice. I can either go across, right, going all the way forward and work with over direction back. Now, the other option I have is that I can take still vertical sections going this way to the parietal ridge where the head tends to round off. Now, what's the difference between the two? How do you know what to do? Now, what will happen if his density of hair was finer, then I would go this way and work with my over direction. But because his hair is extraordinarily thick, I will be taking sections this way, and I will have a slight over direction to the middle to maintain the squareness. So I maintain corners. So that's the difference between the two. Now, if he was something like me, bit of a recession area, right? I know I have a tiny bit of recession. I know that. Then I would still use my profile, then go across and work with my over direction back, because that will compensate the recession area. So do you think it could compensate anything on me? Maybe, just a tiny bit. Tiny bit. They agree. Okay, so now what happens is, now during your hair cutting, so sometimes if you are a beginner, especially working with precision cutting, and the hair slips through your fingers, what I recommend is using a touch of the Captain Fawcett sea salt spray. I use this as a cutting lotion. Yeah. See, back in my day, back in the 80s and 90s, we had something called a cutting lotion, which we would use during haircuts. We don't see that so much nowadays, but by using sea salt in the hair, then working, this will make it so much easier for taking your sections and also when you are cutting the hair. So I will be working from a profile first. So if you're right-handed, your body position's here, and I will be working. So I'm just going to switch cutting combs. We're going to be working straight up, making sure that I'm working over my fingers. Now, what will happen is I will have a slight increase to maintain the length in the front. But what happens is, remember guys, when hair is longer, it is heavier. So you'll see I will have to decrease the amount of weight on a freehand basis. So, making sure that I'm working over my fingers. What will happen is my elbow will increase. Because when we are cutting hair, right, especially for any of the beginners, if you want to do something square, your shoulders are in line. If you want triangle, which is longer in the front, shorter in the back, it's up higher. If you're doing round shape, it's the opposite, all right? So your body position is so vital in your hair cutting. So after completion of the first, I'm going to go to the next. So here we go, making sure I can see my guide. My elbow is up. Now I will be stopping just in front of the crown area. Now I'm going to continue, and this is going to be happening just to the parietal ridge. That's my final section. That's where the head rounds off. Thanks, dude. So we're going to continue. Here we go, working up. And you'll see by doing this, making sure, now it is the opposite. Who's left-handed? Any left-handed haircutters? No? Oh, thank God. Thank God. Now, if you were left-handed, you'd be standing on the opposite side. Please remember, guys, your upper part of your body controls your cutting technique. Your lower part of your body controls your overall horizontal shape. So, for example, if I'm doing a square shape, my body will stand directly behind here, or here, or here. If you're doing a round shape, you're standing around like that, okay? So really making sure where your body is during your hair cutting. So making sure I have a slight over direction, hence why I'm only combing it from here only. I'm directing it slightly towards the middle area. By doing that, when I check the haircut, going the opposite, I will have a bit of a corner here. So that is the purpose behind it. So I'm going to continue. This is my final section. I'm going to continue. Now, you'll see that by doing this, here we go, I'm now going to be doing the same thing on the opposite side. So my body position, because I'm going from shorter to longer, I'm still going to stay on, my body's still going to be on the same side. Oh, you've gained weight. Oh, God. All right, I'm going to continue. Same thing. Body position here, working my way up. Okay, now if you see that I've left the crown out. Now the crown, I'm going to be establishing a corner. Why the hell would I want a corner in the crown? The reason why, because his girlfriend hits him with a baseball bat. So you see, he's got the dent here. So by filling that area up, it's going to look a lot more fuller. okay? And it's going to be a lot more flattering. So that at that point, I want to create, where's the cameraman? I want to create something like that. But then the front will be going like this. So what happens is with this particular style of a haircut, it contains the 3 cutting techniques. It also has the 3 shapes. So we got from round, we got square, and also triangular. So really understanding your basic foundation of hair cutting is so, so important. So I'm going to continue. Here we go. Now, understanding especially as well. So when I was doing my consultation with Jesse, okay, he had certain requirements. And so he said he wanted central parting, like a curtain effect. And I said, well, listen, you know, I want to blow dry it a little more smoother, like a pompadour or like a quiff. So ideally, by changing up the styling and blow drying, you can, you know, add different type of styles for your client. All right? Because a lot of times, we tend to do the same type of haircuts or same type of styles inside the barbershop. But you can change that with a different type of product or a different type of blow drying. So this is the final. See if there's anything going to come off. Yeah, just a wee bit, nothing crazy. Now, at that point here, just to make sure, like, to deal with this, what's going to happen? I'm now going to be using vertical sections. So vertical sections are going like this. Vertical, vertical in the back. What will happen is I will have everything being pulled straight back or over-directed back to maintain squareness in the back. All right, that's the reason why. All right, so by using vertical, like I said, keeping this. There we go. Now I'm going to continue over-directing everything back. It's not going to be a lot coming off, but that's okay. One of the key things, guys, right? It's not so much what you cut off on that head of hair that counts, is what you leave on that matters. So making sure that we're going back, still over-directing back, then doing the same thing here. Working over your fingers, your body position still here. Then now, just by quickly checking, I'm now going to be blow drying it. Now, the products I'm going to be using for the blow drying. So I'm going to use the Hair and Scalp Tonic from Captain Fawcett. Now, what's great about this product is the more you use, the stronger the hold. So if I wanted a wet look, right, a wet look for my guy, I would actually soak his hair with it, all right? And when it dries, it dries like a wet look gel. But if I use a small, like 1 squirt, it can be used as a scalp tonic. But for me, since I want body, since I want his hair to look like quite big and everything, I'm actually going to be using it as a directional spray, spraying it into the root. By spraying it into the root, you're going to be using it as like a volumizing spray. Now, what I want to first do is I'm going to be using a vent brush to really help get, well, one, to make the blow dryer faster, but also to give a lot more lift and control with the hair. Then you might see me using the backside, which is more like a smoothing brush. So it's like a 2-in-1 type of brush I'm using. Now, making sure that I actually have my nozzle on, because I want to direct the hair. And what I'm doing is I'm doing something called a wrap drying technique. So what that means is the brush, now if you think about this, the brush is going around the head like a roller. Now, if you see, you need to follow the head shape to keep the ends of the hair a bit smoother. Because if I just go like that, well, what will happen is, you could probably see it from there, the ends are looking like frazzled or like poop or crap, right? So by going around the head, you see it's going to be a bit more beveled. So that's the key thing, making sure the brush follows around the head. And what I'm doing is, I'm drawing the hair, but also providing movement to the hair. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Also, even after the show, I'm also going to be judging the barber battle later on, which I'm very excited about. But if anyone has any questions about the products, about what I'm doing on stage, please come and see me. I'm here to help. It's gonna look wicked. It's gonna be big. So, and bigger's better, right? Yeah. And then what I will be doing is I'm going to be doing a freehand cutting technique to really kind of like, I need to take more weight off, all right? So I'll be doing that when the hair's dry. So the freehand cutting technique will consist of from slicing and freehand point cutting. So it's going to be a bit more freehand and a bit more chaotic, but it's a great way to really work, all right, taking the weight off, especially fast. You can also use a hair cutting razor as well, depending if you're trained in that. I did use a hair cutting razor before for the back area. But I think one of the key important factors, especially when I teach my students, is that who is the most important person inside the barbershop? Who's the most important person? You say the client? You are half right. Yeah? The most, here, hold that for a second, dude. All right, finish blow drying. All right, so, no, don't. The most important person inside the barbershop is actually the returning client, right? So what that means is, right? So you're from England, right? Down in Brighton. So you charge about 20 quid a haircut, right? Give or take, maybe more? Yo, you live here. Oh, shit. All right. All right, how much do you charge? 45. Now, would you rather have 45 euro or multiply 45 by 12? Right? And that's the key thing. That's why we need to concentrate on the most important person inside the barbershop, which is the returning client, and how we can, as barbers, have a career in barbering, not just a job. So by learning, this is what I teach at my academy in Nottingham. So here we go. So going to continue. Here we go. And continue. Just, it's almost a little bit. He's got thick hair, guys. It's going to take a little bit of time to dry. So what I'm doing is, just to get the front a bit bigger, what I'm doing is, it's called blow drying with a bit of extension to it, or over directing. So using the nozzle, let it glide on the hair, using the heat. But then what I do is, I then use the back end, which is cold. So I've heated it up, now I'm cooling it off. And that's going to help set it. It's an old school thing to do. Because I used to blow dry hair back in the day before they had cool shot buttons. So that's what we used to have to do. So he's got some great body. So just 30 more seconds, and I'm going to be doing some cutting. Yeah, but really making sure. Now, this is something I would teach my client to do themselves at home. All right? I would show them what product to use, what type of brush, how to blow dry it. You know, because the thing is, you want to create, you want to educate your clients. You're not a salesperson, you're an educator. You want their hair to look good. I'm going to continue. So, now the difference is, so what I'm trying to create, now you have options. So right now I want to work with directional cutting. So I'm actually going to be working with slicing. So by working with slicing, all right, so I'm actually going with the direction I want the hair to fall. So opening and closing, and us being right-handed, this is the body position. I will stand here. Now, slicing is what's the main difference between point cutting and slicing? Slicing and point cutting, they both remove weight, both give texture. And then, so what will happen is, that's why we want to work with slicing. We will direct the hair. Oh, wait a minute. Chicken, I got 10 minutes. All right, so now in this side, the left side, I'm doing backhanded. Now, what will happen is, don't move. Okay, I'm going to do freehand cutting. This is a bit more aggressive. So I go in, I cut, pull out. So that's really good for working with, if you're a bit pressed for time, but also want to give really cool, chaotic texture, especially if the hair is extraordinarily thick. Now, what happens is, what's going to happen is, my last thing about cutting before I go into styling, in this area, what happens is sometimes a man can't keep it up in the front, right? So what do we do? All right, so in this case, because I worked with a triangle shape here, what happens is there's going to be that certain amount of corner or weight. So by going this way first, you can see, you see that corner right there. So I'm going to reduce that a little bit. And that's going to help keep it up. All right? Now, if the hair was shorter, what you can also do is something called scaffolding, which is taking about a small section or surrounding the front hairline, you take it and you cut it half the length that the hair is. So what that does is, it will help support the hair in the front. So especially if the guy wants to wear it up. Now in this case, I'm not going to do that because my model Jesse doesn't want to do that. So that's the reason why I'm not doing that. So it's really having a thought process when we're cutting hair. Especially guys, especially if you want to make a career out of barbering. You know, try different things. It's a thinking person's game. Okay. I'm gonna stop cutting there. Now, and so you guys can see and how much volume he has just with that one spray. I didn't do anything else. Now, we all know barbers like white powder, don't we? Yeah, I know he does. He definitely does. Nah, he doesn't. All right, so white powder. What's great about powder? When we choose products, right? Think about this. Now, powder, see? Very lightweight. So, depending on the density of your hair that you're trying to create, when we are choosing something like putty, which you can see, it's a lot heavier, yeah? So when you decide on what type of product to use, right, it all depends. Now in this case, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna be doing a cocktail. I'm gonna first use a bit of white powder to help, keep it, Now the reason why I'm using the white powder, the volume powder, is to help absorb, especially it's quite warm in here, the powder and hairspray tend to absorb oil or sebum or moisture. That's why I'm using the white powder first. Woo. And then afterwards, right, I'm then going to be using a very small amount of the hair putty. Now the hair putty, it's got a little more weight to it. So the reason why I'm using a little bit of product that has weight is to also have a certain amount of control. So that's when we realize what certain products do, all right? And that's the way I kind of work with that. So here we go, just moving around. Around. You can also use the putty for separation in the back hairline area. The thing is, if you want to use a bit of hairspray, you can. Go for it. See what happens. But the thing is, when we try different products, right? The key thing is when we try different products, and what happens if you get it wrong? You get the wrong product in the hair. Oh my God, your whole career's over with. Instagram will find out, your followers are gonna leave you. No, it doesn't happen that way. All you have to do is take your client and just shampoo them and start over again, all right? But the thing is, you now learn something. You learn that the product wasn't suitable for that hair type. So the key thing is, guys, try different things. What do you have to lose, right? We're human beings, all right? You have to understand, right, as we are starting off our careers, right, it might be a struggle, right? It might be a struggle for you, but remember, struggle comes before success. If you don't believe me, look in the English dictionary, all right? Trust me on that. So, as I'm finishing up here, I just want to say it's been brilliant being here back in Amsterdam. Where's that sexy beast of a Birdman? Oh, it's my second time seeing you? And all I can say is he's touched me. That's all I'm saying.
We shared a room together.
Yes, we did. All right, guys, who wants some stickers, right? Captain Fawcett stickers. That didn't work, no. All right, you ready? Yeah, here we go. Here you go, sweetheart. I love your hair. You get a sticker. Here you go, guys. All right, guys, so thank you very, very much. It's been such an honor being here back in Amsterdam. Once again, guys, if you want to see some of the products later on, let me know. Or if you have any questions, please just ask. I'm here. You can see my Instagram, Sid Sottung Academy. And once again, you can see my reels. I show a lot of these cutting techniques on my reels, especially the freehand cutting technique. Thank you very much, and a big thank you from Captain Fawcett Products. Thank you, guys.